You ain't got an ounce of skill, so take another route. I'm on that under route. On the court, I dominate like the South, boy. Don't make me call you out. City lights, limelight, whatever. I'm better than you. On my back, on my...
Good evening and welcome. I'm Greg Gumbel here with my partner Clark Kellogg, bringing you the 2K Sports NCAA Selection Show. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There are a couple of major changes in the rankings as March Madness approaches. The Michigan Wolverine jumped all the way from the number 17 spot to number 8.
They're peaking at just the right time, Greg. This is exactly the way you want to be playing going into the tournament.
Also, a new team has made the leap into the top 25. The Marquette Golden Eagles break into the poll as the number 22 team. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA Tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Virginia Tech had the chance to set themselves apart from the rest of the bubble team, but they never could get over that hump and guarantee themselves a spot.
And we have a few more teams in similar position, right, Clark?
Wisconsin could have sealed their invitation with a better regular season finish, but the fact is they play in a very tough conference, and that does weigh heavily in their favor.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Louisville Cardinals are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. They begin the tournament as the dominant team in college basketball. They've been ranked number 1 in the media poll for the entire season. Let's see if they can live up to everyone's expectations. On to the second number 1 seed, who will play in the South Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are seeking their 5th NCAA championship in school history. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are our third number 1 seed, and they'll play in the Midwest Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our 4th number 1 seed will play in the West Regional. The Pittsburgh Panthers are in the tournament field as a number 1 seed for the first time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the number 1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the South Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Midwest Regional will play the winner of the West Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 6th. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night. Anything shocking to you about those picks?
The Gonzaga Bulldog is a nice surprise to see on this list. It's always tough to get respect coming from a small conference, but the committee says they earned it and have rewarded their great record with the top seed in their region.
So, with the number 1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are the top seed, finishing at 32-1. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Big East. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between UC Santa Barbara with 13 wins. And now the number 8 seed, the Detroit Titans, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Oregon State Beavers, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-13. Kentucky comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 20-9. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Colonial Athletic Association, the Delaware Blue Hens, with 19 wins. Texas A&M enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Big 12. This marks their 10th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Sacred Heart Pioneers. Finished the season with 25 wins.
The Texas A&M Aggies are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
The Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the away team, with 21 wins. Arizona State comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 26-7. Miami of Ohio comes in to face them at number 14 with 17 wins in the tournament championship of the MAC. Our number 7 seed is from the Sun Belt Conference. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the California Golden Bears, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 19-12. Next up is the number 2 seed. The Alabama Crimson Tide are the conference tournament champions from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, with 18 wins. This marks their 4th appearance in the NCAA Tournament in team history. There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket. If the top seeds can avoid the early upsets, we can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. Next up, we'll take a look at the South Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are the top seed, finishing at 24-6. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the ACC. They'll take on the Delaware State Hornets, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Creighton comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 24-6. Oklahoma State comes in to face them at number 9 with 20 wins and a legion of loyal fans just dying for some tournament success. Temple enters the field as the number 5 seed from the A-10 Conference. This is their 27th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Brigham Young Cougar, finished the season with 20 wins.
The Temple Owls are certainly a team to watch out for. They're a tremendous all-around team and have the ability to beat anyone on any given day. They didn't get to be one of the highest-ranked teams in the nation by accident. This is a dangerous team that knows how to win, and I would not take them lightly.
Illinois comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 23-7. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the Southern Conference, the Davidson Wildcats, with 24 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Oregon Ducks, come into the tournament as the 4th place team in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 19-11. The Ohio State Buckeyes are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the East Carolina Pirates, with 14 wins. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Massachusetts Minutemen are the conference tournament champions from the A-10 Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Florida Atlantic Owls, with 25 wins. This is their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 2 seed is from the Big 12. The Iowa State Cyclones had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Alcorn State Braves, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 21-10. I think this could wind up being the bracket that brings us this year's Cinderella story. A few of the higher seeds here have had terrific seasons, and I'll be surprised if at least one of them doesn't put together a long run in this tournament. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Midwest Regional. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are the top seed, finishing at 28-3. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the West Coast Conference. They'll take on the away team, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 3rd appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Our number 8 seed is from the Big 12. The Missouri Tigers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Clemson Tigers, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 21-9. The UCLA Bruins are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Niagara Purple Eagle, with 18 wins. Tennessee enters the field as the number 4 seed from the SEC. This will be their 20th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Washington Huskies, finished the season with 16 wins.
The Tennessee Volunteers are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have to maintain that form if they want to do some damage in this tournament.
Maryland comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 22-9. And they take on the 11th seed from the SEC, the Florida Gators, with 20 wins. And now the number 3 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Albany Great Danes, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-12. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Iona Gale are the regular season champions from the Metro Atlantic Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Cincinnati Bearcats, with 21 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA Tournament. Michigan comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 27-6. Harvard comes in to face them at number 15 with 16 wins and the regular season championship of the Ivy League. On the surface, I'd have to say this regional might be the most difficult of the 4. Certainly the depth of quality teams here is very impressive. Whoever emerges from this bracket will have been through some battles. And finally, let's have a look at the West Regional. The Pittsburgh Panthers are the top seed, finishing at 28-6. They finished second in the Big East. They'll take on the Southeastern Louisiana Lions, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Ole Miss Rebels have established themselves as one of the best teams from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, with 21 wins. This is their 9th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. Utah State comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 26-5. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Sun Belt Conference, the Arkansas State Indians, with 20 wins. LSU comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 25-7. Murray State comes in to face them at number 13 with 20 wins in the tournament championship of the Ohio Valley Conference. Our number 6 seed is from the Big Ten. The Indiana Hoosiers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Wisconsin Badgers, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-12. The Washington State Cougars are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Bucknell Bison, with 22 wins. And now the number 7 seed, the Marquette Golden Eagles, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Auburn Tigers, who were 7th in their conference, finishing at 20-12. Miami enters the field as the number 2 seed from the ACC. This is their 9th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed, the Spartans. Finished the season with 16 wins.
The Miami Hurricanes will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
Looking into the future a little bit, this bracket looks poised for a titanic matchup in the regional final. If the top 2 seeds can take care of business in the first 3 rounds, we have the possibility of a classic Elite 8 meeting. What are your thoughts on our top 16 seeds, Clark?
There are no real off-the-wall picks that jump out at me. These 16 teams are all pretty deserving. Let's give the committee some props this year. LSU is a team I wouldn't want to face, even though they're down there as a number 4 seed. I think they've got the potential to be a Cinderella team.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Pac-10 gets 7 teams. The SEC with 7, 6 out of the Big 12. The Big 10 gets 5 teams.
It was really an up year for the teams in the Sun Belt Conference. They topped the non-power conferences with the number of bids they got, and it shows you how far this conference has come. They're becoming dominant at that level.
It's too bad we didn't see more small conference schools in the tournament. None of those conferences got more than 1 team in the tourney, and I don't expect any David and Goliath stories out of the teams that did get in.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in Conference USA. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there. But this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
Here's the list of the teams that were on the bubble heading into Selection Sunday. So, partner, which of those invitees should be sending the selection committee a thank you card?
Wisconsin is going to sleep a lot better tonight than they did last night, Greg. I wasn't sure they were going to get that invitation, but they snuck in through the back door. Now we'll see if they make the most of it.
While those teams are celebrating getting into the tournament, let's take a look at the other teams who were on the short end of the stick.
Virginia Tech probably thinks their resume is as good as a few of the teams that got an invitation. But they didn't have that preseason tournament championship or that one big win that would have set them apart.
Thanks, Clark. I'm sure that this year will provide us with all the thrills and excitement that we've come to expect from the tournament.
Greg, it's going to be a fantastic tournament. We've got an outstanding field and a lot of sensational players. I guarantee there are some memorable moments soon to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA Tournament.